Hey guys, how's it going? I thought we'd just go ahead and jump on into this next mower and hopefully get this one knocked out pretty quick. And we're kind of coming up midstream on this one. This is one I bought a few months back, and turned out that it was going to need a coil on it. And at that time I was not sure I wanted to put that kind of money into it because coils are not that cheap on these. And there's resources to get used ones, but the one guy that has one around here, probably, I could never catch him at his location. And then the other thing is to go look at the junkyard where they have junk mowers, and that's about an hour and a half away. So I just decided to just put this to the side until a later date, and I decided what to do with it. So the later date has come. I actually found a good deal on a new coil, so here it is, a little Briggs coil. And so we're going to put this puppy on, and hopefully it'll have spark and we can address any other issues it may have. And what this mower is, this is a 1999 MTD. I think I may have said that wrong. It's a Murray. It's actually a Murray. This is a 99 Murray. I think that's a 21 inch. And it's called a 2-in-1 combo mulch and discharge mower, and it's a pretty decent mower. It's pretty well made, seems like. It's a self-propelled. Looks like maybe not your cheap bottom basement mower, and it's just got a standard, looks like a 3.5 or a 5 horsepower Briggs. I don't think this thing has a marking on it. Let's see. Yeah, nope. It's got a shroud on it. I think this is a 12H882 engine. That's either one of those, but it's just basic. This is a lot like the one I just repaired, but different issue. So anyway, we're going to get into this thing and hopefully get it running, and I can get it cleaned up and pass it along to somebody else that needs a mower. I got this from the thrift store, and usually if I find a self-propelled at the thrift store, I'll pick it up if it's reasonable. I think this one was 20 bucks. One thing I did notice that was kind of interesting was in the 10 years, this may not work here, I'm trying to move this tripod a little. In the ensuing 10 years between the snapper I worked on and this one, they've cheapened up this flywheel brake. Instead of it being just a wrap band, like a transmission band like the older one, this one's just got a little shoe just right over here, so I guess they figured that was now sufficient. So, okay then, well, I will throw on that magneto and we'll see where we're at with this thing. Okay then, I put that new coil on and we have spark back now. That's good news. So what I'm going to do is, at this stage, I'm going to go ahead and pull this shroud back off, and I'm going to do, since we're going to be done in here, I'm going to just do a little bit of housekeeping in here. I'm going to kind of paint this a little bit. It's got some paint peeling and things like that, so that will be something I think will help it look a little better for sure. So anyway, that's what we'll do, and I'll bring you back when we're further along, as the song says. So I got the jet out of this carburetor, and this one's a little different from the other one. This one has the bottom bolt is the jet. As you can see, it's got a hole there, and a hole here, so that's how it emits fuel to the engine. And it was a little cruddy, not bad. Ringed it out with some wire. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that all the way up. And I got another bowl gasket to put on it, because the bowl gasket came off in about 2 pieces. But it appears to be, the carburetor appears to be flowing fuel, flowing liquid. The needle valve appears to be sealing, so I'm going to do this and put it back together and put the bit of paint on it, and we'll see where we're at. Alright then, the time has come. I've got this jewel back together, and it's time to get it down off the lift and reconnect the spark plug and rob some gas out of something and put in it and see if it runs. The only thing I'm really kind of skeptical about is this is one of these that has a primer bulb carburetor, and it's got a gasket between the backing plate to the air filter housing and the carburetor, and that's where the passage is. And that gasket is it ain't in the best kind of shape. So I don't know, primer may not work, may not work well, it may not start easy, we'll see. May not start at all. I like these slick flush mounted hubcaps here. That's kind of neat. But anyway, let's get her down off here and get it outside into the position, and you know what we're gonna do. Gonna pull the rope. Alrighty then, I've got this thing maneuvered over into the lawnmower testing area, and I got some gas in it and checked the oil. The carburetor's trying to leak on me a little bit, but I think I got it stopped. Either way, I got a fire extinguisher over here along the side, out of frame. So let's see what this thing's gonna do. Like I said, I don't know if this primer works or not. That's the thing about primers. May work, may not. Doesn't sound like it's working. Okay, in the next step, I'm going to be putting the handle back on. Okay, we'll see if it breaks again. It actually broke. Hang on. Yeah, I decided to go ahead and pull off that air cleaner again, the cover of it, and take the air filter out just in case I gotta give this thing some liquid encouragement to start. that, didn't he? That's kind of strange. You can't get the drive to disengage if you lock it down until you let off the dead man control. Well, whatever. But as you can see, the air filter is done. It tries to quit every time you put the filter back in. So I don't know. I'm gonna think I better do some research, but I may have to put another filter in it. What do you think? And one of the things I saw with it right away was that the drive is working, but the left front wheel is not pulling like the right one is. So I don't know if it's got some teeth busted off inside of it or something. So I'll probably take the wheel off and take a look at it and see what's up with that. But otherwise, the engine sounds good, sounds strong, and should be good to go. So probably won't make another video on this mower because I'm gonna deal with those couple little issues and clean it up a little bit, lubricate it, and put it up on the list and say bye to it. If there's anything to show you in that wheel, I'll probably tack it on to the end of this, but I'm going to dive into that real quick and see what's up with that. Okay, then I got this apart, and the wheel itself is not stripped out too bad or anything. It's got a little wear on it, but it's still got teeth in there for the most part. But looks like what the problem is, if you come down here to this pinion gear that runs off the axle, this is where the wheel mounts. Look at this. See how that thing's moving all around? It shouldn't. So something's gone away in there. So I'm gonna, because I got a circlip on this, I'm gonna pull that circlip off, and I'm gonna look in there and see what's going on with that. There's evidently was a bushing, or should be a bushing, or something to do with the bushing. So let me see if I can get that off there real quick. Okay, you got that gear off, and it's got the gear itself, and then there's a little roll pin that goes through the axle over there, right there, and then there's a little washer behind it. But if you look close at this, there's your problem. This thing has, from lack of lubrication, whoops, or something, has worn into the metal housings, worn it away. So I guess I'll go in there and look and see if I've got a bushing that I can put in there to help that stay in place. Good grief. That's the difference right there, guys. That's the difference between an old snapper like that other one and this. That's the difference. Oh well. Let me go see what I got in the stash in there. Okay then, so here's what I've cooked up to repair this axle problem with this Murray self-propelled mower. You seen in the last clip we got it running, but I was using it to test the self-propelled function of it, and the right wheel pulls good, but the left one was erratic. It was in and out. Sometimes it'd pull a little bit, sometimes it wouldn't. So I took the wheel off, and as you saw, I took the wheel off and looked at all this, and the problem is readily apparent. What's happened is right here, my oversized pointer, right here, this axle, see all that movement in it? Well, it rides in a little steel carrier assembly. I don't know if there's supposed to have been a bushing in this originally or what, but there isn't one now. So this thing's flopping around, and what happens is the wheel, this is the axle shaft, and the wheel rides here like this, and it's got, you know, if you ever seen a self-propelled wheel, I've got it up here, but it's got teeth on it. And then you also have right here, what this mounts up is a pinion, and then it's got a pin back here that drives the pinion, and the pinion drives the wheel, and the wheel drives the mower. So real simple. But what's going on is, since this thing is so the belt has pulled on this so much that it's worn it into the steel. It's just worn it out. The axle's okay, but this part just wore right away. So that ain't good. You can't have that. So that's why it's going in and out of engagement. So the simple fix is, well, there's a cheap fix, there's a simple fix, and that's it. The simple fix would be to order another part for it from MTV or E-Parts or someplace like that and replace this piece right here. Well, I can't do that because I already got too much in this mower. This is just a fix and flip mower. It's going to go back on Craigslist, and so that's out of the budget. So I have to do the cheap fix. So the cheap fix is going to be, I went out to Lowe's the other night. You can probably do this at Home Depot, or if you got a decent Ace Hardware or someplace like that, you can find it there too. But I went into the plumbing section and I found myself what's going to be a bushing, and this is just a piece of copper. This is called a coupler. It's a 3/8 coupler, and I had to do a little bit of machining on it and the axle, but I've got it where it will slip in here and just go in where it needs to go, and that's going to be my bushing for the axle to ride in. I'm going to put a little bit of grease in this, and then when I get this in place, I'm going to make sure it's located properly, and I'm going to take some of this 2-part epoxy. This is called steel stick, and this is the kind that you cut a little piece of it off and you knead it together and all that, and I'm going to stuff it in there on the outside of that so it's in place, and hopefully that will last at least a season, because people, when they buy these mowers, they assume that they will last the mowing season, and if they get more out of it, that's good. If they don't, oh well, they just push it out to the curb or take it back to the thrift store and donate it, where I found this one. So that's the fix. So normally, like I said, if you had a welder, which I don't yet, I could pull this off and weld it up and machine it back out, and it'd be good to go there. And I hadn't taken the other side apart, and I'm not going to because it doesn't have this problem. But I don't know what was in there originally. There's a grease seal on the back of it, and there may have been one out here, but there ain't no grease in it anymore. And so that's the fix. The fix is in. So I'm going to do that, and then I appear to be suffering from a leaking carburetor bowl still. I think it's the little gasket on the bottom where the needle bolt is. So I got to fix that too, and then I'm going to clean this thing up a little bit, which means maybe wiping it down. And I'm going to list it on the list, and it's going to go away. We're going to say bye, and that will be it. We'll look for something else to work on later on. So thanks for tuning in on this mower, and I'm glad we got it back up and running again. It seems like a pretty decent mower for one of these big box store mowers. It's not as good as that snapper, but it's decent. It'll last somebody a while. Seems like the motor's good on it. It mows. So what else can you ask for? I did go back to the thrift store the other day, the one that I like to go to that tends to have mowers, and that's the one where I got that snapper from over there. And they had about 3 other ones when I bought that snapper, 4 other ones, and they were down to 1 on this last time. So I was patrolling that place to see if there was anything worth fixing. The only thing they had was a Yard King with a 3.5 horse engine, which it was a bagger, had a bag with it, but it was a little bit tired, and it also was not self-propelled. And like I said, unless it's something that's pretty high horsepower or overhead valve, which that one was neither, I'm probably not going to mess with it. It had a Briggs, same engine as this, except it had that damn diaphragm carburetor on it, which I hate those things, so I passed. Somebody else can have that one. Okay, thanks guys for watching, and we'll do some more mowers, hopefully coming up fairly soon. See ya. I just thought I'd put a little addendum on here and just show you just how far that wore that out. You can look through there and see the tunnel, but that's how far it egged that thing out. Because you can see it's actually, that sure looks like it used to have a bushing in it, doesn't it? Because that one fits just perfectly in that opening there at the bottom, but up here that's a whole different story. So anyway, there again, I don't know, this steel stick may last a while and it may not, but at least if it gets out of here in one piece, it'll be fine. So yeah, that's what people that sell Craigslist mowers do before you buy them. Too bad, I guess. Hey, I guess you could always buy a new one. See ya. Hey guys, well, here's a little short video I'll put at the end of another one. Here's another good one for you. This is another example of the flakes that you find on Craigslist. This is a 92 Olds Custom Cruiser wagon. This is one of 2 years that they made this version of the Custom Cruiser. It's last year, as a matter of fact. And it looked like a pretty decent car. I was mildly interested in another wagon. And so anyway, this car's not that far away from it. I was all geared up to go look at it. Maybe this weekend. Who knows? And so I called the guy, and after an extended wait to get him to come to the phone, he answers the phone. I ask him if he's still got his car for sale since the ad has been up a month, and he's renewed it once 11 days ago. He says, well, yeah, it's going to be a while before I can sell it. So I didn't hear him quite well the first time. I said, I'm sorry. He said, it's going to be a little while before I can sell it. So there you go. You know, that really didn't bother me that much, because there's one thing that annoys the heck out of me about Craigslist is when you find a car that someone's actually ready and willing to sell. I'm always more entertained and satisfied with my search results when I find a car like this that's, you know, something I'd like to go see, but it's not actually for sale right now. It may look like it's for sale. I know there's an ad up on it. I know there's a phone number you can call, and I know there's a price on it, and I know there's pictures on it, but it doesn't mean it's actually for sale. It's going to be for sale later on sometime. Who knows when later on might be. Might be a few days, might be a week, few weeks, month, year, or it might be never. So, you know, this kind of reminds me, you know, when you go to a concert or something and there's a lot of tickets and there's more people wanting to buy the tickets than there are tickets to be purchased. So, you know, you do the drawing or whatever, the raffle, whenever we're taking a draw and about a chance to go look at this car, you know, it's TBD. The date of sales to be determined. You know, it's a teaser. That's what this is. It's just a teaser. It looks like an ad for a car that's for sale, but it's not really. It's just a teaser. It's a car you could buy if it was for sale. It's not for sale. It's just entertainment. It's like, well, let's just see how many people we get to call about this car, and how many people that'll build up my ego that want to come look at my car, even though I don't really want to sell my car. I'm just going to do this just for the hell of it. That's the worst of Craigslist. That's the kind of flakes that you find on Craigslist. And this guy didn't even clean his car up enough to get the french fries out of the back seat of it. So he's not serious. We know he's not serious. Everybody knows he's not serious. It's just fun and games. So, anyway, I might have had his asking price. I might have had close to his asking price. I probably did. But this goober, because he doesn't have his act together and he doesn't know what he's doing and he's out just screwing around on Craigslist, you lost your sale, bud.